evening. Welcome to the stream. My name is Garrison from Singapore, and yes, today is the what is it, 2nd of October 2022. Yes, we are in October already. Last time I streamed is in end of September. Yep. And yes, today is a Sunday. It's where there is the Singapore Grand Prix, which is going to happen in less than 2 hours' time. Uh, yeah. So, for those who know me, I'm actually in Formula One, and I haven't really been kind of like missing it since the start of it, be it involved in the trackside or in one way or another. But this year is different. This year, not totally not involved, right? Because of work and so on and so forth. So that's why, yeah, you can see me now. There's yeah, at this timing I'm still out and about and then to work as well. Right, so yeah, the sky looks pretty grey. If you, I'm not sure if you can see it. Chances of rain is there, weather forecast. So yesterday, if for those who have actually watched the qualifying, it's actually pretty interesting. It's a changeable weather condition. So yeah, so it's going to be pretty exciting. And yeah, so just before I begin with the live stream, let me just go on to the usual stuff that I normally do. So there are two ways in which you can actually communicate with me on this live stream. One is via the chat box itself, where you can actually type in your questions, comments, opinions, and stuff like that in the chat box itself, and I'll try to get back to you within the live stream. Of course, alternatively, if let's say you'd like to talk to me live on air itself, what you can do is there's this Discord link in my Twitch profile. So click on the Discord link. I'm actually using the voice channel of the Discord. So if let's say if you are interested, you can actually click on the Discord link and then turn on your microphone, join my voice channel that says live on air, and we can talk to each other live, right? Not exactly in real time, but with a slight 1 or 2 second delay. But otherwise, it's pretty reasonable to actually do a verbal conversation over the air itself, right? So these are two methods. Of course, if let's say you're watching this as a recorded stream, as a recorded so-called video of this live stream, either on Twitch or YouTube itself, please feel free to leave your comments as well, right? And yeah, so there are the things. And if let's say you'd like to communicate with me in one way or another through private messaging and stuff like that, I've also attached my social media handles as well. So you've got my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, right? So they're all found on my Twitch profile. Right, so coming back, so the topic that we have is about this Singapore Grand Prix itself, which is happening today. Today is race day already, so it's going to happen in less than 2 hours' time. It's going to start at 8 p.m. local time. Of course, if you are tuning in, try to tune in 10 minutes before, and there's a 5 minutes before countdown, and then the formation lap, and then the race itself, right? So, as I've just mentioned just now, it's actually quite gloomy in Singapore, so chances of rain is still there. But of course, yesterday is pretty wet. Um, Today, I would say it should be better, right? So the ambient temperature right now, according to my car, is actually at 29, although I think it feel more like 30, 30-ish, yeah. But of course, track temperature is no longer as hot because I don't recall seeing the afternoon sun. Yeah, but also because I'm probably working. So yeah, so that's the thing. And if let's say you have any questions or anything you'd like to share and stuff like that, just feel free to type in the chat box itself, or alternatively using the Discord voice channel, and we can actually talk to each other, Right. So, yes, it's a Sunday, so it's time for me to conclude on the topic that we have for this week itself. It's actually about the Singapore Grand Prix. Has it affected you in one way or another? For those who are for those who are local, probably the road closures and stuff like that might have disrupted you. If you're working around the area, but of course, if let's say you're working your workplace or you're still working from home and or probably your workplace is actually out of town and stuff like that, then it doesn't actually affect you much, I suppose. And for those who are visiting Singapore to watch the Grand Prix, welcome. Yeah, in fact, to be honest, I think we do really see an influx of a lot of tourists coming into Singapore. Yeah, for the Grand Prix itself. But having said that, I think there are also other events happening concurrently in Singapore over this weekend as well. So, yeah, it really depends. So, see. Right now, I'm actually heading towards the east. So I reckon I can actually take the route via the Benjamin Sheares Bridge, which is the flyover, which is a huge flyover you see that's actually cutting across the circuit itself. So if we are watching and if you actually understand the so-called how the layout of the street circuit itself, if you are eager eye, you will be able to see at the turn one, two, three, the sequence of corners, turns one, two, three, and four. You will notice that there's a huge flyover that actually goes over the track itself. Yes, I think I will go through there later, and yeah, and hopefully, you know, we will not be able to catch a glimpse of the track itself because of the elevation, but basically I will be driving on top and then probably overlooking at the track itself. Probably I'm going to start the driver's parade and stuff like that later on, or even now, 2 hours before, yeah. And they're getting ready for the race. I can see a very big piece of dark clouds right in front, and that is around where the circuit is. So not circuit lah, it's actually the track is no, it's actually a street circuit, yeah. So maybe the circuit is, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So if you have anything you'd like to talk about, just feel free to chime in, right? So, yeah, yesterday's qualifying is actually pretty interesting. It started off with kind of like semi-wet tracks where most of the drivers are out on the intermediate tires, and I think Q1 everyone runs on inters. There isn't anyone on the dry slick tires yet. But I think Q2 itself, both the Aston Martins, which is Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll, they are actually trying to to end their run with the slick tires, and it didn't exactly pay off. Yep. So track evolution is actually very significant in Singapore, except a few crucial corners where yeah, most of the drivers also feedback that the track is drying up pretty rapidly, but there are certain corners, there are certain turns in which it is still pretty wet. That's why it's still actually arguably quite risky for full slicks as well. So that's why during the second qualifying Q2, Sebastian Vettel actually did mention that the track is still too early for dry. Yeah. And then in Q3 itself, you see that most of them are actually venturing out on the soft tires, on the dry already. So, yep. And probably that's the right call. And I think Yuki Tsunoda and one more, I'm not too sure who, but I think it's Kevin Magnussen from Haas. I think they actually tried to go and start Q3 on the intermediates, thinking that if they can actually banker in um, one lap in and then try the dries for the second run itself. So yeah, probably that's the plan. But we soon realized that everybody is actually running competitively on the dry tires itself. With I think the first of them who actually put up a very remarkable lap time is Lewis Hamilton, all purple sectors, and then followed by you see the others are actually trading in the provisional pole lap times. I think Max Verstappen tried that. Charles Leclerc knew that as well. Lewis Hamilton and also Fernando Alonso. So pretty impressive. So after that, I think it's track evolution already. So the track gets better, and then that's where the pole position time actually happened. But of course, if you look at the timing itself, I think so far none of them have put in a kind of like a perfect lap. So as you can see, actually, if Max Verstappen didn't abort the second last run, he could have been at a higher up position. I'm not too sure about pole. I think probably yes, yes or no. Really depend on how much he pushed because he back off and then try to go for the third run itself. I mean the last run. But of course, on the hindsight, we know that he actually ran out of fuel because normally for Q3 everyone will do one or two laps to put in a provisional time and then go in pit for new sets of soft and then they will actually do the final run itself. But of course, yesterday, due to the track evolution, a lot of them actually still continue to stay on track without changing in another set of dry tires because I think in terms of pitting in and then coming out for out lap and then doing the running, I think they probably run out of time. So that's why they decided to stay on track and then do a cool down lap and charge up the batteries before finally going for the final run. So that's where I think the final lap where Max Verstappen, because he didn't exactly come into the pits to actually probably do the thing, and that's why he has to abort the final lap, in which is going to be probably pole or not. It really depends. So yeah, so that is the situation that I understand. So yeah, the thing is that even though you cross the line, he stopped the car and stuff, and if let's say he really run out of fuel, he'll be at the back of the grid anyway. So there's no point, or maybe he has a point to prove, but then the thing is that he will be put at the back of the grid itself due to insufficient oil sampling. So I think he starts on P8, so that is the position that he'll be starting. But of course, if let's say on the hindsight, if you have actually crossed the line on the second last of his qualifying lap, and he really put in that lap time, he will probably be even further up. So it really depends. So yeah, so the thing is that just look forward for the race, which is going to start in about 1.5 hours time. Yep. So let's see how it goes. Of course, the top three are Charles on pole, then we got Sergio on P2, then Lewis Hamilton on P3, then followed by Carlos Sainz 4, and then Fernando Alonso 5th. So the thing is that the first three of them, if let's say anything were to happen, of course P4 and P5 would be the best, be in the best position to actually to capitalize on it. And things to watch is Fernando Alonso. He's actually a very good starter. So from P5, yeah, don't discount him up. If let's say he has got a pretty good start, he might, jostle in because there's nothing much for him to lose anyway. Same probably goes for Lewis. Lewis haven't had a win for in 2020, which is the longest period of time. Okay, as I'm actually coming closer and closer to the circuit itself, Yeah, see rain clouds. Probably it's raining over there already, and the clouds actually extend all the way to the sea. So it's actually pretty, yep, interesting. We don't know what's going to happen in 1.5 hours time. Probably it might rain, um, or even though the rain might held up, might the start of race might be dry. We don't know what's going to happen in the middle of race itself. So very mixed condition, and yep, it's especially challenging for street circuits itself and places like Singapore or Monaco for the matter, because of the the nature of a street circuit. You have got a lot of 90-degree turns, and the thing is that for Singapore itself, we don't have a lot of long straights, so that's why it's actually pretty challenging. Talking about street circuit, the other one will probably Baku itself, Azerbaijan. But the thing is that that track has got pretty long straights and stuff like that. It's challenging as well, but yeah, I think in terms of the challenge is actually mainly on the drivers itself. It's on the endurance part, because of the Singapore is actually in the tropics. No, not tropics. In the we are actually along the equator itself, tropical country, and we are very prone to thunderstorms. We are actually pretty hot and humid itself, so it's the humidity that probably kills. Right. So yeah, good. I'm probably kind of like 16 minutes into the stream. So what I'm going to do is I will probably go. hmm, Yeah, I'll go up here, and then yep, I'll be passing up the bridge itself, which is actually on the circuit, right? So just hang in for a little while, and we will be there. But of course, it really doesn't look good, if I may. Yeah. So basically, it's dark clouds, pretty dark, and it's actually getting darker and darker every moment. And yeah, normally this will be accompanied by lightning. We'll see. So for those who are actually catching it live on TV itself, yes, the images are pretty interesting. So um, yeah, from what I reckon today, Fernando Alonso starts his 350th 350 race start, which is pretty remarkable. I think he's actually now the record holder for the most number of starts to someone in the Formula One career. And there's also talks about if Max Verstappen could have just taken the titles today for both drivers and probably Red Bull itself, if they maximize the number of points while their nearest competitors fail to score. Yep, so that is another thing to look out, right? So right now I'm going to pass by Marina Bay Sands soon, and then we are actually going to be at the around the circuit area itself. Mm, right. So yep, so far nobody leaves anything at the chat box itself. I see people viewing, so yep, welcome to the stream. So yeah, if you like, you can actually just drop by and say hi, or yeah. Uh, yeah. So 6:30. I see if I can actually catch. I won't be able to catch it live, of course. We still have some stuff to settle on, but I'll probably tune in to actually check on the commentary, as well as to follow the lap times. Yeah, because if you are subscriber to the F1, the official Formula One app, then you can actually keep track of the time and stuff like that, right? So, yep, I just passed by the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. Oh, wait, have I? No, not yet, it's in front. Haha, sorry. So, yep, it's going to be in front, this front segment itself. Uh, yep. Okay, so coming back, yeah, it's getting darker and darker itself. So, I don't know. Maybe yeah, I think probably it might even rain just before the start, and then probably, I don't know, because Singapore weather is actually pretty difficult to predict. I think if you look at some of the commentators who stayed who hang around during the whole of yesterday, probably for the W series that's actually happening in Singapore as well. You see at one moment it's pouring very heavily, really pouring, and then the next moment you have got like it's totally dry. The rain has stopped, and then it starts to pour again. Right, so it's pretty similar to what some of the previous races that Formula One has gone through in Malaysia as well. Typical thunderstorms and stuff like that. So yeah, so there's Marina Bay Sands itself. I'm now actually going up to the Benjamin Sheares Bridge. Yep, we are actually opening up itself. Now I'm actually on the bridge. Let's do Marina Bay Sands, and now I'm actually right. I can see the grandstand itself. Ah, it's actually drizzling. Yes, it's drizzling pretty much, and I can see that the grandstands are starting to fill up already. Trackside activities, not so much yet. Probably waiting for the drivers' parade to go around the track. And of course, I think you can actually see the left hand side of my car windscreen. It's actually raining. Yeah, raindrops coming down already. Yep. So that's where the grandstand is. I can actually, on my right, see the start finish straight. Yep, it's definitely raining. It's raining already. Yep, you can see the grandstand is filled up. Right, well done. It's raining. Okay, so now what's up? Let me clean my windscreen. If it starts to rain now and to drizzle now at a steady rate, the track will definitely be. It won't be totally wet like yesterday because yesterday is really heavy torrential rain. But today is like at this rate of going, the track will be wet. It's going to be what I reckon between inters and wet. I don't think it warrants for full wet if it's this kind of condition. But the thing is that it's going to be like 1.5 hours away, so a lot of things could have happened. But this type of drizzle in Singapore is very common. It may just stop for and then it will pour a bit again. The sky will open up a bit, yep, and then it will stop. So yeah, for those who are going to start on full wets on this type of condition, then I don't think the wet can last because it will burn out very quickly. But I think it's probably more on inters itself. And yeah, for those who are even more daring, they can actually try the slicks. But of course, um, once you have got this rain that actually washes off all the previous support series of races itself, the track is going to be very green. So if you want to start on slicks itself, it's also going to be very tricky as well. So yeah, great to see this type of changeable weather condition in Singapore. and to really to test out how things go. But of course, if let's say it's raining, it's not going to be that temperature is not going to be that so-called crucial and critical. But the driver will feel very miserable because of the high humidity. They're going to feel thoroughly soaked and drenched, and yeah, it's going to be very miserable for them. Right, so I'm now at East Coast already. The thing is that because it's raining, I can't even walk to my destination, I suppose. So yeah, in fact, I think I don't know. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I should 6:40, 7, 8, 9. I still have time. Probably I might go somewhere else. Right. So yeah, I might. So we are like almost close to half an hour into the stream already. So yeah, I can definitely see there are more viewers, live stream viewers now. Um, yeah. Yeah, so if let's say if anything, just feel free to leave a message and stuff like that. I will come back to you. Okay, tell you what I can do is I will probably turn back, then I go through the other side of the bridge itself. Then you will be able. I don't think you'll be able to see, but you'll be able to probably figure out where are the different landmarks and stuff like that. And yeah, it's going to be around the circuit area itself, right? So, yeah, it's actually raining properly now. Sky has opened up. My biker is actually up on the higher speed itself. So what I'm going to do is, yep, I'm going back up this, up on the bridge itself over the circuit. As compared to just now, yes, it's actually raining much heavier. So, yep. So this is live. You can actually see the live weather condition right now in Singapore. And I'm going over the circuit itself. So let's see how much things we can actually figure out. The irony thing is, in Singapore, it's very common to find one side bright, bright and sunny, the other side raining with dark clouds itself. Uh, yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking, what I'm seeing. Yep, the sun hasn't gone down yet, so it's actually pretty bright right in front. That's where I came from just now. And now over in this part of the Singapore, the island itself is actually pretty dark. We really have to see what's the wind direction. Is the wind coming in from the seaside or out to the sea? If it's coming in from the seaside, then probably the rain is going to be quite bad because there's a pretty dark rain cloud. Ah, my window is now kind of wet, but yeah, I think you can probably still pick up some of the skyline itself. So right now I'm going back up onto the bridge again. So now this side, what you will be able to see is the start finish straight. that goes through, and then there's the sequence of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And by the time they finish, they will be underneath the bridge. So, yep, from what I can see, live is definitely wet. You can definitely see it's actually raining right now already. Yep, if it's going to continue like this, it's going to be definitely going to be a wet start already. Uh, let's take a quick glance at the start finish rate. Yep, it's pretty wet. The lights are up. The pit crews, no, there isn't any much pit activities. Right, so that's from what I can see. And then now turning over, you should be able to catch the Singapore Flyer on my left. Right, so this is at the back of the paddock area itself. Not a lot of activities at the moment. There's still about an hour plus to go. Right. So on my left, you'll be able to see the Singapore Flyer. It should be coming into your, yep, that's the Singapore Flyer. Now checking on the other side of the circuit itself. Yep, it's pretty bright here. As you can see from the lighting itself, it's bright here, it's gloomy there. So nice condition for race. Alright, there you go. I need to find some place to settle myself. And yep, I've been like, oh, it's already like half an hour into the stream already. So what should I reckon? I think I will probably settle down somewhere. You see, it's not raining here. It's totally dry. It's getting bright. I'm going actually the same direction that I came from just now. And yeah, the rain is literally not here yet. From what I can see and from my experience being a Singaporean for the past 40 over years, yep, it's going to rain later on. But as to how much of the intensity of the rain is going to come down, it really, really boils down to what is the track condition going to be like. Yep. Okay, so I think probably I'll end of the stream. If I say nobody leave anything at the moment, no, I don't think there's anyone um, coming in at the moment itself. So I think probably I will end of the stream. So for those who are watching the race live later, um, it's going to be pretty exciting. And yeah, so tomorrow will be Monday. Will be kind of like back to work for a lot of you. So yep. So we'll see how the race unfolds and who's going to win the Grand Prix itself. Uh, no, I don't like to do predictions, but I would guess if let's say things were to get to a very messy start, and then probably the top three were to mangle among themselves, then I think, um, yeah, I really don't know because it's actually Formula One. I don't really like to predict in Formula One. Of course, I would like to see midfielders, those best of the rest, to actually win the race, to actually, um, I don't know, make things better for them. So I'm actually hoping that Fernando Alonso will win, probably in the podium. And yeah, so yeah, at 41, that's Alonso's age, and I'm also 41, so you can actually see a lot of difference. One is a two-time world champion, and one is actually still struggling in life. Right. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to end the stream. So I see you guys tomorrow. If let's say I'm streaming tomorrow, that's going to be Monday, and we will actually stop talking about Formula One and probably talk about some other topics itself. Right. So yeah, before I head down into the tunnel again. So yep. See you guys next time I come online. So have a great Sunday evening. Have a great weekend. Um. Yeah. Okay. Ah, screen. Okay. That's more or less about it. Okay. Bye. Take care. See ya.